Well, Lego, are you gonna go out there and overreact one more time? Are you gonna go out there once more and say that this is a disgrace? Well, okay. Last time we had made a video about this sort of thing, it was in this piece right here, talking about how the Vancouver Canucks are still being underrated by the folks who create those sports betting, what was it, like odds? Yeah, the sports betting odds. And we had talked about how the Vancouver Canucks were projected as the fourth best team in the Pacific Division behind the Edmonton Oilers, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the LA Kings. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But today, we're going over a different set of odds that was posted by the NHL. Also by FanDuel, and also, I'm not going to say I'm sponsored or anything. I'm not a betting man, and I've never used FanDuel. This is just the partnership that they have with the NHL. But earlier yesterday, we had ourselves the NHL on Twitter post this. Who is taking home the hardware for the league's best defenseman in 2024-2025? And you can see the Norris Trophy odds are listed right here. With a plus 300 odds, you have yourselves the most likely Norris candidate next season, Cale Makar. With a plus 600 odds, you have yourselves the two next likely Norris candidates in Adam Fox and Quinn Hughes. Now, I wanted to go out there and talk about this, not because it's a big deal that Quinn Hughes is getting underrated or whatever, or they're not going to say that the reigning Norris champion has the highest chance of repeating next year. This is a conversation of nuance, I feel. Because when it comes to the Norris Trophy, I feel like the majority of fans, even Vancouver Canucks fans, kind of already have this idea in their head that says that Cale Makar is the best defenseman in the world, right? Like, I think everybody who has seen the playoffs over the past few years, who has seen the way this guy dominates the offensive zone, who has seen the points this guy is able to produce, I think most people can reasonably agree that out of all the defensemen in the NHL that exist today, if you had to build a team from scratch, you would take Cale Makar. Not to mention the fact that he's a right-handed guy. Not to mention the fact that he's in the same age tier as Quinn Hughes. There is a lot going for him. And as a result, when you have yourself a list like this, okay, like it is totally reasonable to put the guy who is considered by most people as the best defenseman in the world right now as the most likely candidate to win the Best Defenseman of the Year trophy. That's not to disrespect Quinn Hughes, he had a great season and he had 90-plus points or whatever, but the fact is, if you had Quinn Hughes winning 2 Norrises in a row against Cale Makar, against Adam Fox, against Roman Josi, against all the guys that still have an opportunity to be in that running, that, I think, would be an even more impressive feat, almost to an unreasonable degree. Like, okay, could Quinn Hughes win the Norris next year? Yeah, absolutely, he definitely can. But a few things would need to happen for that to go down. He would need to consistently produce in the same rate that he did last season, and he would maybe even need to get a bit more because scoring is going up around the NHL, and he would also have to rely on some of the guys in that defenseman pool underperforming as well. For Cale Makar, this was a pretty evident fact about his game in this previous season's worth of play because he wasn't really that strong defensively in 2023-2024. Even all the Colorado Avalanche fans watching the games and giving their takes on social media were saying, yeah, Cale hasn't really been that good this year. Sure, he's producing points, but he's not looking like himself. He could definitely be better than what he has shown off. And I think it's so strange to see a collective group of fans of one team unanimously agree that, yeah, our top player on defense, who is still producing top defenseman scoring, who is still doing all of this, he's not looking his best, and we are okay with him missing out on whatever trophy because of it. There seems to have been a consensus that says that Cale Makar just had not looked like himself, and that's okay. Like, he still had a fantastic year. He was still one of the finalists for the Norris Trophy this previous season, and he was playing at, let's say, 75% of his full capacity. So when you think about it like that, okay, it's not reasonable to assume that one of the best players in the NHL is going to play at 75% for an entire year next year. Is it possible? Sure. Is it something you would bet on happening? Probably not. So for Cale Makar to bounce back, I'd say that is a lot more likely for him heading into 2024, 2025. And for Quinn Hughes, there are a few things that would need to go right for him to continue that momentum and, let's just say, build upon this one Norris victory that he has already had. Now, as for the other guy, Adam Fox, who also has himself that plus 600 rating, like Quinn Hughes, there are a lot of people in the comments saying, oh, Heiskanen is better than Fox, Josi is better than Fox, this, that, the other thing. I mean, Fox had a pretty alright season too. He was a point per game, but he did miss some time, which is kind of why I think he got lost in the shadows of this competition last season, mostly because he just wasn't there the entire year. But either way, Adam Fox still has that game-breaking Norris ability as well. We'll see what happens once Jacob Trouba gets traded, or if he gets traded at all, if there's a bigger role for Adam Fox, and if he's forced to go out there and produce more points and have more of an impact. That certainly, if it leads to more point production, will lead to him getting a lot more Norris consideration. And that's not even to discredit all the other guys that exist in the NHL too. Heiskanen and Josi, I think, are the big two that everybody keeps on bringing up. You could say Victor Hedman as well. He's always going to be there. He had signed that big extension, but who knows what's going to happen with Tampa Bay now that Stamkos is gone. A lot of these guys could fall off a cliff in terms of point production unless your name is Nikita Kucherov. So there's a lot of movement, I'd say, that affects the way you could depict the Norris Trophy rankings for next season, but at the end of the day, I'm not really all too pissed off like I was with the Vancouver Canucks being underrated like hell by these guys. I mean, having them underneath LA for next season in the Pacific Division standings is one thing. Saying that Quinn Hughes has a slightly lower odds of winning the Norris compared to Cale Makar is another thing, and I'd rather say that the Norris conversation is a lot more reasonable and understandable. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Big, bold predictions right here on July 11th, 2024. Who wins the Norris Trophy in 2024-2025? Is it Quinn Hughes? Is it Cale Makar? Is it Adam Fox? Of course, you know me, if I had the choice to choose who is going to win, not who I think is going to win, I'd go Quinn Hughes every day, baby. I want to see Quinn Hughes win as many Norrises as he can and cement himself as the best defenseman in Vancouver Canucks franchise history. He is just that gosh darn good. But if I had to really think about it, I'm like, okay, what are the odds that Quinn Hughes has another 80-90 point season? I'd say it's not like guaranteed, but it's pretty likely, maybe like 60%. What are the odds that Cale Makar goes out there and has another down year? Okay, that's pretty low. If Cale Makar is going out there and doing his best, and the Colorado Avalanche are still as good as they have been, if Landeskog comes back, goodness forbid, then who knows? Cale Makar could get himself a 95-plus point season too. Who really knows? But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.